Go. Okay, so we don't ever do openings, so I guess we'll do an opening for episode 3.
Episode 3, Season 1, Episode 3 of...
How do seasons work on podcasts?
I don't know. We're just going to go until we hit a number of episodes. It seems like it's an appropriate amount for a season.
Deal.
Do we do an anime 12 or a typical?
No, we do a
TV
One Piece.
24.
I was going to say, I feel like
we do a One Piece.
We
1,000 episodes. It's only one season.
I was going to say, we do like an Office, like 25 episodes
Yeah,
a
okay.
season type
25
deal.
episodes. What if? Yeah, okay. 25 episodes is good. All right, so this is for those who don't know. This is the Playbook Project.
Yes.
My name's Matt.
My name is Nick.
My name's Jeff.
There you go. That way everybody can get a little voice.
There we
and
go.
a little-
Match
there
up
we
the
go.
voice with the name. We haven't done that once, and we have 3 episodes uploaded
Yeah.
already. We have
Once
Season 0, Episode 1, and then Season 1, Episode
Right.
1 and 2.
once we get a camera, actually, you know what? Remind me for next week to bring my camera.
We'll get it all
Okay.
figured out.
I'll record it on the camera. That way people can see faces to the names.
Yes.
So tonight we're here at Nick's place, which is
Yeah.
awesome. I love this. Nick's got a nice, quiet little place in, where are we, Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Ham-
Not
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
New Jersey has too many towns with, like, the
Similar
names.
names, yes.
Hamilton and Hamilton.
Well, there's also, you
there's
have...
Morristown, M-O-O, and there's Morristown,
Yes,
M-O-R-R.
yeah. You also have, like, Hamilton Township, which is here. Then you have Hamilton, which is down near the shore, like
Yes.
near Atlantic City. And then you also have Hamilton, which is south on the way to AC.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, I hate
Too
New Jersey.
confusing. Too confusing.
New Jersey is never a fun place to be. Actually, you know what? I don't mind it too much.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's
It's easy enough to deal with.
listen. Side note to the both of you.
Gun laws suck.
I don't know if we talked about this before. I feel like we kind of bring up a lot of old points. We bring up,
Mm-hmm.
some dirty laundry here, but I'm gonna bring it to the forefront again. I think Atlantic City needs a team.
Oh,
No, stop
Dude, I don't care what
Atlantic
major
City
sport
is
it
such a shithole.
Well, no. Do they have a minor league team?
I don't.
No, Camden has the Camden River Cats, right?
I wouldn't mind seeing
Are they a minor league team, though, or are they like a semi-professional team?
I think they're semi-pro.
I think they're
Yeah,
semi-pro.
wait, speaking of semi-pro,
But
great movie with Will Ferrell.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't mind seeing a AA, AAA team.
No,
For,
okay.
For Atlantic City.
Think about having like a.
That'd have to be a Philadelphia team.
Think
I would
think about having like.
You could get away with a New York team having a AA, AAA there.
No. Wait. You guys are thinking too small here. We need an MLS franchise. Hear me out. We have the Atlantic City Jets, right? Or you could have like, you could have something to do with like the shore, right? So you can have like, the Atlantic City.
Oh, Camden River Sharks are no longer a
no,
team.
they're not a thing anymore.
No, they're not a thing. Anymore.
They collapsed in 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
They got bought out. The stadium's still there though, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't even affiliated with Major League Baseball, I think.
No, the River Sharks. No.
Yeah, they got dropped
Yeah, they got dropped.
by the Yankees, and then they tried to do their own independent, and then they went under. This again, the stadium is still there. I don't know what they're doing with it. They were supposedly tearing it down, but
Hey,
Eh.
another great venue for the Savannah Bananas and their little league that they got going on.
Facts.
dude, I love them. By the way,
Oh, good. Have you seen the video on the story of how they were created?
Yep.
About the couple. Absolutely
No.
awesome story.
Oh God, they were so in debt.
He
and they
was
were
sleeping in the stadium.
no, I
they
didn't
didn't
hear
have
any
a
of this.
home.
They bought out
Yeah.
like an old minor league stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
The township didn't want to. Repair it or modernize it in any way because it was a historical one, and so that led the original team that was leasing out the stadium to move somewhere else, and then that's where they come in, the owners of the Bananas, and I think they got like 6 teams in the league now, as far as who else they play against beyond the Bananas.
They play the party animals. That's it, I think.
No, they have their other
No,
teams.
yeah, I don't.
There's more
I've
than the
I've
Party
only
Animals.
ever seen clips of them playing the party.
I believe
animals,
there's
think.
more. It's not like the Harlem Globetrotters. However, I do remember one of them, one of the players interviewing when they asked like, "Is it staged like the Globetrotters?" and he was like, "No, you actually have to play baseball." Like
Yeah,
he's like,
they
"It's not
play-
as easy."
No, yeah,
as,
you can't really stage baseball.
Yeah,
like
no,
I
no.
mean, you can lob pitches in, but even still, you have to make contact with the
Right,
ball. Like
right.
Yeah, no.
It's not like basketball where you can kind of.
it's like Barry Bonds. He might have had steroids, but you still have to be good at baseball
Well,
to make contact.
And also,
He's still a Hall of Famer.
Ha ha.
well, Matt, the
Does
thing.
cheating make you a Hall of Famer?
Everybody was using steroids at that time.
Nick
Nobody
says-
was that good.
Nick says with a mouthful of pizza.
No, but Matt, like, the big thing with Bananas is the way that they have the game set up. You know, it's very interesting. I am absolutely a big fan of what they decided to do. They're bringing in more eyes to baseball, even though it's a modified version of baseball.
It's not really
true-
baseball, but
Well, it's not true baseball in the sense of the typical amount of innings, and there's a lot of stuff that they do in Banana Ball, as they call it, which violates some of the normal MLB rules.
right, like dancing or what have you.
Yeah, but those things are what gives it its shtick. It's very entertaining.
Like dancing, you mean like the fact that if you catch a foul ball as a fan, it counts as an out?
Wait, say that again.
In Banana Ball, in their version of baseball, when they play their thing, like each inning is its own game.
Oh,
Well, it's.
I don't know
not
enough
each
about
inning,
this.
I think it's like a.
No, it's like each inning is their own game, so you win each inning. Like each inning is its own thing. So from each inning, when you win the inning, you get a point.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and you have to get to a certain amount of points to win. And then, as if you catch a foul ball, as
Well,
a
that's what
fan,
you
it's
should
an
be able-
out.
it's an out.
Wait, for both teams or just the Bananas?
No.
For both teams.
whoever's off.
Rule 1, win the inning, get the point. Every inning is worth 1 point. The team that gets the most runs in an inning gets a point for that inning. Except for the last inning where every run counts. 2-hour time limit.
Okay.
No stepping out. If the hitter steps out of the box, it's a strike.
Okay. Interesting.
No bunting. Bunting sucks. If a
Whoa,
hitter bunts,
wait a minute.
if a hitter bunts, they are ejected from the game.
Listen, I'm a traditionalist. I love bunting, but we'll move on. Go
Wait,
ahead.
wait,
What do you got
look,
next?
Continue. Look.
Batters can steal first. On any pitch of an at bat, the hitter can try to steal first base. This can happen on a pass ball, wild pitch, or at any time the hitter chooses.
I like that.
No walks allowed. If a pitcher throws ball for it, becomes a sprint. The hitter will take off running while every defensive player on the field must touch the ball before it becomes live. The hitter can advance to as many bases as they want. The ball does not have to touch the catcher or pitcher.
Interesting. Okay. No mound
No
visits.
mound
I like
visits.
that.
Yep.
If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out.
I like. Okay.
Just
I don't-
whatever you do, just don't catch a bananas foul ball is what it says. Showdown tiebreaker. If the game is tied at the end of the 2-hour time limit, the game will go into a showdown tiebreaker. In each showdown, the hitter must score. If they score, it's worth 1 point. If they get out, it's worth no points, and it's called a showdown shutdown. Round 1, pitcher, catcher, and one fielder versus one hitter. Round 2 is pitcher and catcher versus one hitter. Round 3 is pitcher, catcher, and one fielder versus one hitter with the bases loaded. In this final showdown, every run counts as a point. If no team has won after 3 showdowns, they will continue with bases loaded in one fielder until one team has won. If at any point a home run is hit over the outfield wall, it's a walk-off win and the game is over.
I gotta see.
Bro,
if they've ever
and
gone
Shane
into showdown.
Victorino, I just saw a
yeah,
clip on
just-
TikTok. He just
yeah.
had like a walk-off hit for him
Yeah.
the other night.
No
Like,
way.
They'll bring in old players. Like they're all over the place.
Dude, I love this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I know about the bananas and whatever, but I never really took a deep dive into the bananas and how they worked. But I actually kind of like this.
oh no, it's crazy. And then of course they do like all their TikTok dances and stuff during the game. And
Oh,
they
of
do
course,
stupid
of
stuff.
course.
And then you have the umpire who like twerks and stuff like that. Like the one umpire, he's like a big beer belly bald guy with a big beard, and he.
Aren't they coming into Philly? I heard they were doing a
Oh,
tour,
and they're
right?
already like sold out.
Oh, are they?
I'm sure there
Go
was
on
a
their tickets there.
huge wait list.
33
ready?
cities.
They're going to Trenton Thunder.
Oh, okay. What's the see if you can get tickets for it. I guess you got to scroll down.
It's a wait list.
Oh, forget that. That's wild though. I do enjoy the fact that they play it a little differently. You know what though? it brings fun to baseball. You know, it makes it exciting and enjoyable, and gives baseball a different look. You know, like don't get me wrong.
You have to get on the wait list.
Like don't get me wrong. Like I think baseball is great, but you know you have football, you have flag football, arena football, right? There's other versions of these games where you can get people to still be playing and buy in and enjoy it and what have you. So I really like this.
Yep.
And you know what? For what it's worth, it's not as Globetrotter-y as I thought it was. Like I know it isn't Globetrotter because you have to play baseball, but they actually at least by the rules they actually do play a game. Like they actually do play, and they
Right.
actually is a chance that they could lose, which makes it interesting because it's not just, you know, oh, they're going to win. Like you actually have to play, and there's actually other ways of you know, of doing it. I like that a lot. I really do, actually.
Yeah. Have you seen? So you know the party animals. Have you heard some of the other names?
No, what are the other teams?
Here,
You
I'll
guys are
read you
filling me in tonight.
I'll read off a couple. The Florence Yalls,
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
the Kansas City Monarchs.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. The Kansas City Royals. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, the party animals, the Charleston Dirty Birds.
Oh. Okay.
I'm trying to think who else. I'm trying to look here
The
for as far as the
Charleston
other games.
Dirty Birds?
Yeah. They've had the MLB that they've played the game with, as far as the Major League players alumni they've played before.
Okay. That's cool.
what they played against, so.
I
There's a
know,
couple on
like you said, they just brought in Shane Victorino the other night. Was there any other players you know of that they brought in?
I mean, I can. It's easy enough to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that worried about it. Like, you don't have to go Google.
But
that.
no,
I'm
off the
just
top
curious.
of my head. But I know they've brought in like players before who were previous MLB players.
Yeah, and they've had a bunch of minors players come through.
I love
times.
this. You guys are, like I said to Jeff
Yeah.
2 seconds ago, you guys are filling me in tonight, giving me a lot of information on the world of sports that I don't know. By the way, you know what I was watching the other night?
What's that?
Since we're still kind of in the ESPN 8, the Ocho, I was watching professional cornhole with my mom the other night.
Oh,
And yeah, we turned it on because I was.
Johnny Damon.
Oh, they had Johnny Damon?
Okay.
I like that.
Johnny Gomes too.
But do you know how awkward it is? Not awkward necessarily, but do you know how like weird it is to try and explain cornhole to somebody who has no idea what cornhole is?
does
my
your mom not know?
no, because we're watching. So we're watching cornhole, and I'm kind of invested in it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, you can tell they're all like frat bros who've had way too much to drink in their past. Like, you could tell like they play cornhole way too well, and they're playing. My mom's like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, you don't know cornhole? She was like, no, I've never played. So, yeah, so you're trying to explain cornhole, and then you realize how dumb of a game cornhole is, where it's like, she was like, that's it? You just throw beanbags in a hole? And I'm like, yeah. That's it.
But then there's math to it because beanbags will cancel each other out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
There's some wild games out there on ESPN. I guess it is ESPN 8, but it's
Yeah.
like ESPN. What have you.
ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah, where like they have spike ball.
Ping pong.
Wait a minute.
I've seen ping pong on there.
Wait a minute. I don't know if you have you ever gambled, like sports gambled, but you can
Yeah,
sports
like
gamble on ping
FanDuel.
pong.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So side note. So if you go on, since we're speaking of it, if you go on FanDuel, right, and go to like live games, or whatever, it comes up with ping pong because there's always ping pong tournaments and they're always Asian. Like it's always an Asian country tournament.
No, yeah,
And,
like
dude,
China, it's huge in China.
Dude, and you can instantaneously bet next point, serve,
That's
fall.
wild.
Dude, you
heck.
can
The most I've ever done like that on like FanDuel, like I bet on the Super Bowl. I won a little bit on the Super Bowl, and then I've played like the live game like blackjack a couple times.
See,
Nah, you
I've
got to
done-
do
I've
live
done-
ping pong.
I've done a lot of the boxing and
Oh,
MMA
okay.
fights and stuff like that. I've bet on before.
I had a friend lose $10,000 on McGregor once.
I would have never.
Was it against Khabib?
I believe
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
No, 'cause we used to do
Khabib's a
that.
different animal.
We used to do that for as far as when we've watched the games at your house before.
Oh
When
yeah.
we used to do that. I remember sitting there, everybody's gathered around in front of the TV with the live stream going to it. And
Yes.
we would just do that.
We used
That's
to-
so funny.
We gotta start getting back into it. I think what would be fun actually, since the summer season's here, I think what could be really fun is what we used to do. What Jeff's talking about. We used to put a projector up, and we used to stream games or fights or whatever on my dad's old projector, and we used to sit there and watch the games and critique it. I think that could be kind of fun. Have a summer baseball game on or a summer fight on, and just kind of record while we're watching it, and put it on a video where it's just like us watching on a big old screen. I think that could be fun.
Before I started the Disney College program, I was staying at a house in Davenport, Florida, and I watched the Conor McGregor Cowboy Cerrone fight
Okay.
in the
That was a good
pool
fight, if
in the
memory
pool of
serves.
like the rental property. We
Oh.
watched from the
That's
pool
awesome.
because it was a heated pool, so we watched from the pool and watched the TV. We were just chilling out there and watched
Yeah.
it. But
That's awesome.
McGregor beat him in like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Right,
it was,
right.
It was a very.
It was like,
quick
all right,
fight.
well, we're done.
Yeah.
I think best fight I ever watched, and I don't watch a ton of UFC, but I think the best fight I ever watched was Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz 2. Was it
Yes.
2 where they just went at
Yeah,
it bloody and just like it was
I believe so.
that
was
was
a
probably
long
the best
fight.
one I watched live. The UFC gets a little I don't want to say gets a
I
little
love it.
much, but I don't follow it enough to really be in it. Like I mean I know we've talked about that I train, jiu-jitsu and what have you, but I don't
Right.
follow MMA to that extent where I can really talk about who's in it, who's not, who's getting a belt, this at this. But yeah, Nicholas, did you have anything? Because you're normally the guy who comes up with the schedule of what we're going to talk about. If you didn't, no worries. We can just go off the cuff tonight because I think that's kind of where we're at. But
No, I had a couple things as
Oh,
my
okay.
6-month-old is trying to yank the microphone out of my hand.
He's
Bro, he
joined
just-
us tonight for the podcast.
he just wants to be in
Yes,
on it.
and so has his mother, who's sitting in the background eating a slice of pizza.
She's just sitting over there like, hi.
So let's talk about Tampa Bay for a second.
Oh, okay.
Had
I
a
don't know
had
if
a
I
had a
wanna
rough
talk
week.
about this yet.
Had a rough week.
I think it's just a rough week.
Allowed 20 runs versus Tampa. Good
Toronto.
Lord. Or Toronto.
Toronto.
Good Lord.
Well,
I think it was a pitching. I don't think it was.
I don't know what
I
happened,
think
but
it was a pitching
that was
bullpen issue.
ugly.
you know what I think it is?
But they've also come off of like back-to-back losses too,
series losses.
or series losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know what I think it
first
is,
time
though?
all season, I think that they've lost the series.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nutty. That
I
it's
think
all
it's a
almost in
pitching issue.
June.
It could definitely be a pitching issue. I know their rotation isn't. I mean, it was strong to start the season, and it's kind of starting to fall off just a hair. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of Tampa's issue is the fact that they started so hot with bad teams. You got to remember the first
Right.
few series of the year they played Chicago, the
Detroit.
the White Sox, right? The White Sox, not the Cubbies. They played Detroit. They played the A's, right?
Yep.
And that was your first 3 series, and you went 6-0, 7-0, what have you. Or maybe not the first 3,
I
but
think there's another series in there.
I don't know, but
My
they
point
played
being
3 very bad
you
teams
played
out of
3
their
or
first
4
few
Yeah,
series.
you played 3 or 4 bad teams right off the jump, and then you get into this stretch now where they played a struggling Mets team, but the Mets were able to scrape out 2. They played the Yankees. They played Toronto. You know, you get to a point where you start playing better competition, and things start catching up to you, right? Like you start getting a little more exposed because now you're playing tougher teams, better lineups. You know, you
Now people are getting more settled too.
yeah, the people are starting to get into the groove of the season. You know, you have those first month slumps starting to break because, you know, there's always a few that go into that first month and just struggle right out of the gate. But people start to come around and you know, expose these teams. That's why I've always, especially with the adding of the third wild card, April doesn't mean a ton. It used to mean a lot when you had no wild cards.
Right,
when
but
it was-
now with
3 wild cards,
Yeah.
April means little to nothing because of the fact that I look at last year with the Phillies. They started
Yeah.
19-21 and ended up getting in, going on a run, getting to the World Series.
They
So
got hot when they needed.
yeah,
to.
exactly. They got hot when they needed to. So
Happens.
So April doesn't mean much to me. So when the Rays started out really hot, it was awesome to watch. But in July, August, we'll see how the divisions shake out. We'll
Right.
see what teams are standing, what teams are not, because it doesn't matter. I mean, look at the Miami Heat, perfect example. In the NBA,
3-0, yeah, and
a
they were
3-1 series lead, an 8 seed.
seed.
They Boston in the beginning of the season started 12-2 or whatever.
Right.
Like none of that matters when you get towards the end of the season and get into the postseason. So
I can't believe that that's going to wind up being the way it's going to for the final.
I love it. I think
You say wind up going the way it's going to. Watch you say that, and watch Boston come back and win it in 7.
no, there's no way.
Listen. I don't think they're, but God forbid they do.
I think Miami and Butler have it.
Hey,
figured out.
Braun beat the super team Golden State, came back from 3-1.
Well,
And then he lost to Denver.
He got
This
swept
year.
this year. I'm
Yeah.
talking about
No, I know, I know,
2015,
but
16,
I'm just-
Braun.
well, so here you're not that we weren't talking about baseball, but here's
Or was that 2015, 16, or was that 2016, 17?
16, 17.
16, 17.
There's a couple things that go into this Miami-Boston series. Number one, the fact that Boston has 7 undrafted guys in there, and 4 of which are in the rotation. But they have 7 undrafted guys producing and playing really well, which is awesome. But to your point, Nick, the Celtics are the better team, like on paper, depth, statistically, like in every sense of the word, the Celtics are the better team. But you can't measure hard on paper, right?
No.
And I think that's what Miami has. I think Jimmy Buckets is all heart. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's obviously talented, but I think he's all heart. I think the team is all heart, and I think Spo is a phenomenal coach, which is helping. Can Boston, to your point, Jeff, can Boston win in 7? Absolutely. I think Boston can come back and win in 7 because they're on paper, better team. They have every advantage. But do they have the heart to come back?
No, I don't think so. I think that as a Sixers fan,
Or whichever one of you said Celtics 7, that doesn't matter.
no, well, yeah, but as a Sixers fan, I think that they really lucked out being able to get out of the Sixers series.
Oh,
to take it to
100%.
7. So that's why I'm like, I just don't think they have it in the tank, enough gas in the tank left to turn it around. Now, play Miami.
Yeah, and you know what? There is something to be said about a little too little too late. Like, at what point is it too late to turn it on? And you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's a lot harder to win 4 straight than it is to win 2 in a row or 1 game. So, to your point, at what point is it too late to turn it up, turn it on,
Right.
and then try and come back? Plus, as a Sixers fan, and you and Nick both being Nick more so, but you guys being Sixers fans, I actually think it's better that Boston won because look at what Miami's doing to Boston, who squeaked out of
Right.
the second round. Like, you go in, I think it's embarrassing what's happening to Boston, being such a talented team, being on paper so much better. I think they were a minus 600 favorite, like
Right.
the biggest. I think it would be one of the biggest upsets in NBA playoff history. Like, for that to happen, if it was the Sixers, I'd be even more disappointed if they were in this situation in the conference finals than
We'll
I would
see.
be them going out in Game 7. No, like
I don't know.
I feel
think
like
that
I'd be
the-
more
I
disappointed.
think there's already a big disappointment that was how the Sixers got out of that. Or
That's fair.
We're in that series and how it ended. I don't think that Boston winning or losing is really going to change the mentality and everything that needed to happen for as far as the overall teamwork. Because it was pretty obvious. I don't know if you saw post-game conferences or press conferences for as far as after Game 7, but
yeah, I
it
saw.
it was very obvious that they had talked about the fact that there was a lot of lack of communication towards that second half there.
Yeah, I did. I watched a lot of the. I watched a lot of the coverage of it. I watched the game itself and the series itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Sixers are kind of a basket case, stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, I know they just fired Doc Rivers, but it's one of those things where it's like, what do you do now? Do you try and run it back with the same team and maybe, if not, definitely have the same result, or do you try and blow it all up and start all over and call the process a failure, right? Like, the Sixers are in this weird space where it's like there's not really a good direction to go.
Right.
And the Game 7 post-game conference and everything that had happened, at the end of Game 6, it's like, is
Tobias Harris.
Joel Embiid the guy? Is Tobias Harris worth anything to trade at this point? Like,
He's probably still worth like a third and a fourth, maybe.
Yeah, but
I
what
feel
are you
like
getting out of a
do
third
you
and a fourth?
trade Joel Embiid though?
I would. I'd blow it up. I would trade. They would be one of the only teams ever, and the only team I could think of off the top of my head that would trade an MVP in his prime.
Right after his MVP season.
The only one. But I mean, what do you do? Run it back? Well, let me ask you this question because I was while you were.
I don't know that he's the leader that team needs.
I don't know if he's a leader.
No,
but I was asking Jeff. I'll ask you the same question, Nick. Seeing what Miami's doing to Boston, who barely squeaks out of the second round facing the Sixers, how would you feel if the Sixers made it to the conference finals but were in this position? Better or worse than them going out in the second round again? Because you have to remember.
Well, that's the thing. I think
because you have to remember Boston was able to win Game 4, but the Sixers may not have.
Are you talking about us playing the Heat?
I'm
being
saying,
down 3-1 to the Heat right now.
Being down 3-1 playing the Heat. Would you feel better or worse?
I'd probably feel worse about this,
right?
Just because they're an 8 seed.
Right. So I actually think for the Sixers, as awful as this sounds, I think it was better they got bounced, so you don't have to have the secondhand embarrassment of not only barely scraping through Boston, but then getting 3-1, maybe 4-1. I don't know. I just think that's even more embarrassing than losing in the second round to a tough team or what have you. Nonetheless, what else you got on that little list of ours? Now that we're kind of sidetracked completely.
The Yankees game the other day was an event.
Oh, I did not see it. So what happened?
Oh, with the squirrel.
With the squirrel?
Yes.
Did you not see the Yankees game with the squirrel?
So apparently a squirrel was running across the right field fence.
Yeah, I think the short porch.
The short porch. Dude, people went nuts. They slow-moed everybody's faces. Some of the faces in the crowd were just wild.
So I always been curious about this. I don't know about you guys. I know my understanding is like there's some of the stadiums out there, especially the older ones, have like cats that inhabit the stadiums.
There's a lot of stadiums that have cats that are like living there.
Yeah, we've seen that on many occasions. Kind of out in the outfield on the.
Didn't the Mets have a cat fiasco?
I think the Mets did. I definitely know.
Look, there's a squirrel.
Boston did. Boston had one before.
Yes,
I remember.
There's a couple. I know Oakland's a mess. Oakland's got. Funny enough, I remember they said last year, year before.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah,
oh
dude, look, dude. Some of them are
Everybody's
more
freaking
afraid.
out. This dude's like, ooh.
And then he flies out.
Dude, squirrels are fun animals.
Speaking of squirrels and watching the squirrel land, they are crazy, like acrobatically.
Dude,
like
they're crazy athletic.
Have you ever watched that thing that Mark Rober did on them?
Great Squirrel Olympics.
Yeah, the thing. So he was a NASA physicist or engineer, and he quit NASA to do YouTube videos. And he's the guy who does like the glitter bomb pranks on people, the package thief. But he also did one where squirrels kept eating like bird seed out of his bird feeder and emptying it. So he made like an obstacle course for them to see like if they could get to the bird seed.
Yes, I did see this.
And dude, squirrels, they're smart little bastards, man.
They are.
But yeah, there was that, and yeah. So the Yankee game, first of all, that. Second of all, the thing with Judge and Volpe. Judge going yard to tie it in the bottom of the ninth, and then Volpe having a walk-off sac fly right in the next at bat. That was
tough to watch. I think
that was
some fans had a hard time sitting there watching that.
Jeff had a hard time watching that.
No.
Jeff being a Philadelphia fan can't watch the Yankees win.
Yeah.
I have an issue with the Yankees.
But then also Zack Hample.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
So
let's talk about.
We mentioned it last week that.
Well, there's an update to the story.
So we mentioned it last week that Zack Hample caught a Cedric Mullins home run at the Baltimore Orioles game in Baltimore, and some kid videotaped him and was like, "Oh, you got to give it to AJ, his name's Littleman, who's like a Twitch streamer, plays MLB The Show."
If you haven't seen the story, check back to last week's episode.
Yes.
And we go into it a little bit further.
Yes, and then basically they told him, "Oh, give it to the Cedric Mullins kid," and he was like, "Well, I'm the Mullins guy tonight,"
Which is hilarious.
which
by the
yeah,
way.
and Matt
Which
finds it
is
to be
just
hysterical. I think it's just like
I'm just sitting here imagining, like, I know what he looks like, but I just imagine this kid, right, where he has like that interaction to me is so funny. Where it's like, you gotta give it to Little Man, you gotta give it to AJ. It's like, I'm the Mullins kid tonight. Like, dude, I just find that hilarious, and I don't think AJ found it as funny as I'm finding it, but like, I think it's still kind of funny. Like, you have to live in the humor of the moment of that, because like he didn't know, and that's kind of what happens, right? He came out and said he had no idea who this kid was.
yeah, that's what he tried to say.
Yeah,
This is
that's
the
what he's
video.
going with. There's the video. So he says
He's
it
an
before.
absolute loser. We just watched the clip.
Yeah.
But he caught another one in right field in the short porch at Yankee Stadium. And then that one, he like everybody had been blowing him up about it. So he was like, "Oh, well, this one, like last week it was like a miscommunication thing. I didn't really know what he was talking about, but I apologize for any, ill will there that might have been misconstrued. But I'd like to, Little Man, get in touch with me. I'd like to get you this ball. I just caught it. There's videos of me catching it. I hope you get this, and I'd like to, get you this ball." So good on Zack Hample for at least getting him that one. I don't know exactly if he's sincere about the first game, but
I don't understand. Like, now he's caught the second ball, so why not keep the second ball that you caught at Yankee Stadium and not give the first to the kid? Because he's had a history of giving over first home runs.
I gotta ask this question:
for
Is
that
this
catch.
is this guy like Marlins man? He just goes to every game.
Okay,
just-
he goes to they're all over the country.
Yeah,
is he
and
an
then
Orioles fan?
No,
No.
he's from New York City, so he's like born and raised. I think he was born and raised a Mets fan, but he said, "I don't root for any team. I'm just a baseball fan," is what he calls
MLB
himself.
did
Gotcha,
a
okay.
whole little movie docuseries on Zack Hample.
Oh, okay. So he's like Marlins man. He just travels around. Just
Well,
goes
yeah.
to all
So
these
he
games.
goes to all these different games. I think he's hit every single stadium. He's hit all 32 stadiums. I'm trying to think of. He's been to Old Yankee Stadium. He's been to a decent amount of the foreign games. So when they
okay.
had the Mexico series, he was in Mexico City for that series. He's been to the UK for the London series before.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's been out to Japan for the Japan series.
And how did he get popular? Just by going to all these games?
So his original
Or he's just like an MLB
story,
super fan?
No, his original story was his lifetime record of catching a ball, because he is a ball hawk. That's his like big thing that he's been doing for over.
He
Probably
has like a
6,
book
7
that he
years.
wrote. He had like a documentary made about him. He's
Yeah.
caught over like 11 or 12,000 baseballs in his life.
How?
He's
Wait,
been
how
going
does-
to games since he was a
Right.
kid, and he's 40.
He'll show up to batting practice, and he'll count those balls. If he sees balls on the track out in the outfield, he has a cup method that he created on a string.
Oh, yeah.
He can bring in that he can
Literally,
dangle a
it's
string
like a
and
solo. It's almost
cup.
not a solo cup because it's more sturdy. It's like a plastic cup that's on a string, and he drops it down on top of it. The cup goes around the ball, and he lifts it up and then drops it again. That way, the ball goes further into the cup, and then he just lifts it right back
Yeah.
up. And
So he's able to
and
collect
picks
balls
up.
that way.
And then he has one with a glove too, where he uses like a Sharpie and a rubber band, and the rubber band like bends around the ball, but then like grabs onto the ball, and he's able to pick it up with the
He's done
Sharpie.
that
Like
on-
it's nuts.
He's done that in stadiums that had issues with him bringing a cup in himself. Like most stadiums, you'll be good to bring in a glove and a Sharpie. Those are things
Right,
that
right.
anybody brings in. The cup thing is a little bit different. So he's used the glove method for stadiums that have had issues with him in the past, as far as him utilizing that method.
God,
So-
Listen, don't get me wrong. I can be a pretty big fan of my teams and like sports in general, but God, sometimes some of these crazy fans, like, don't get me wrong. I respect the fandom and I respect the hustle,
Yeah.
but like all that, like that's a lot.
Well, my understanding too, if I remember,
Is he getting money out of this?
He makes money from like sponsorships and stuff, but a lot of that time, that money is then going right into paying for travel to games.
Golly,
So it's not
okay.
really like. But I also think, if memory serves from the original series that was produced by the MLB,
I'm gonna have
he
to watch
donated a bunch of balls that he had collected over time to like little league teams and stuff like that. Like
Oh, okay.
he had like he
this.
doesn't.
So good guy, Zack Hample.
Yeah, no. Like he doesn't. He's not sitting at home with like 6 or 7 huge tubes of like tons and tons of baseballs that he's kept. He's kept a decent amount for as far as purposeful reasons. So any of those foreign series or any special series,
Right,
games
obviously keep
have,
those.
Yeah, because if you catch them during the game, a lot of the time they'll have special insignias that represent that game. So he'll keep it for those reasons. He's kept obviously certain balls that have been hit by specific people. Then obviously he's known for the catches he's made. He made hometown hero Mike Trout his first home run. Zack Hample caught.
No way.
And then
This dude's
I can't
everywhere.
Remember, wasn't it Jeter? He caught one of Jeter's home runs at one point. That was a significant. And he had
His
like
3,000th hit was a home run. Did he catch that one?
I think it was that one. I don't remember for sure which one it was.
How
but
does he
had
know where? Like, okay, this is
He's
a
a whole
question.
method to it.
Oh, that's
The
so
man,
wild.
the man
like,
knows what he's supposed to be doing. He
like
knows
how
where
do you
to go.
know? How do you just end up in the spot where Mike Trout hits his first home run? Like, how do you like?
I mean, he like watches a lot of tape.
Golly,
yeah,
this guy's got to be getting paid.
I
to
have
do
a
this.
video. I don't remember. I don't remember when it was from or why I was there, but I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, Kaylee.
Okay.
I was at her house, and we were watching baseball on the TV. This might have been before we went to Disney, when we went on the Disney trip together. It was. We were watching the Phillies, and Bryce Harper hits a home run, and we're watching it, and I thought I saw somebody familiar, and it was Zack Hample. He caught Bryce Harper's home run.
Right.
How
Look,
does this guy
look,
just? This guy's
I
just
have the video.
everywhere, dude.
Yeah, he's able to be found.
Look at him, ready?
Kaylee, this is strange. Wait, what happened? This guy right in here who caught the ball, he's a YouTuber. I love him.
I just
Look,
like
there he is.
like I guess my question to all this is like, first and foremost, if he's not getting paid by the MLB, he needs to be getting paid by the MLB. That's
Well,
number one. Number two
And a
is
lot of people are mad at him, too, because he wears the MLB umpire hat, and everybody's like, dude, he shouldn't be wearing that hat. They go through so much, like, training and, like, to even be able to wear that hat. Like, and people...
no, I'll agree with that.
Well,
but
that's the only, like, he'll try to keep a neutral hat. So he's like, but he wants to support the MLB, so he's only got so many different options that he can use for as far as that. So you have, like, the ump hat is one of those ones that just kind of has the MLB logo on it, and that's all you kind of need.
I just want to know, like, how do you find yourself in positions? I just want to know how you find yourself in those positions where you can be in the exact spots you need to be when somebody hits a home run like that. Like, dude, man.
Yeah.
I want to dive into the psyche of this guy. Do you remember what the name of the documentary is? Because now I have to watch this.
I can send it to you.
Okay,
we'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, we should.
He's written a book about it, and he's obviously had the MLB put a video out on him.
I'm gonna come back next week with hours of research on this kid.
It's this
kid,
guy.
He's 40.
Yeah, he's but it's a very interesting story. Very interesting guy. I envy him as a baseball fan to look at the fact that he's able to, be able to go and see all these different ballparks and be able to go on all these trips and see baseball as just a sport, not necessarily as a fan of any specific team, but just go and enjoy it for the game itself. And I
Yeah,
know
that
there's
is
a lot of
respectable, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who obviously look at him and see the ball hawk and see that that's really like what his thing is, and that's what he's known on YouTube for. So a lot of people look at him in that sense. But I definitely think that there is still some major semblance of the fact that he is a baseball fan at heart, even though he might be needing to pay the bills with doing some YouTube content work with ball hawking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about Zack Hample. What's your opinion on Zack Hample?
Oh,
Don't like him.
Don't
No,
like
you
him.
don't like Zack
Attaboy.
Hample?
All right.
This kid
Attaboy.
comes
That's
strolling in with a Mets hat and the pants. I love this fit.
Yep, Mets shirt and the Mets
I
pants. This
love
is
this
this is
fit.
my brother Colton. Colton, say hi.
Hi.
What's up, Colton?
Big Mets fan. Big
Dude,
Ar-
look
big
at him.
big Arsenal fan. This kid could tell you anything about Arsenal. you
Oh,
wanna
No
know.
way. Big Premier League guy? Yeah. Love soccer? You big soccer fan? That's awesome.
You
Plays,
get up early for
plays
those
flag
games?
football, plays travel soccer, regular rec soccer too, and then he also plays rec baseball and 50-70
Holy moly.
and All Stars.
Holy moly.
Never,
Kid is-
never having a free weekend. That's what it sounds
Nope.
like.
Nope, never have it.
Kid's
Never
gonna be
has
a
a free
pro?
weekend.
You want to go pro one day? You want to be a soccer player? Yeah.
Yeah, this is his last year in baseball.
You going full on soccer? How old are you?
He just turned 12.
So you're almost in high school. You. Oh.
He's
How
in
old are you when
sixth-
you go to high
Like
school?
14, 15.
Oh, you got some time. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I'm sorry. This man, look at him. He's got the build to be a striker, dude. I see it.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
plays center
Yep.
field, plays wicked defense in center field.
Nice,
He's like Byron
nice.
Buxton out there.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yo.
So I appreciate it.
He's
That's
he's a slap hitter like Jeff McNeil.
Oh, like
Oh.
Ichiro. By the way, Ichiro, phenomenal strategy to bring the slap into baseball. Dude,
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
boy.
like him and Derek Jeter, really.
sorta. I don't think Derek Jeter really mastered it the way Ichiro did.
Well, no, but still, Derek Jeter was never a home run guy. He was a contact guy, single and double guy.
That's true. Bro, I was watching something the other day about Derek Jeter and like stats and the whole nine on how Derek Jeter might not
negative
have been
100
that good.
negative 162 defensive runs saved for his career.
I'm just saying.
I think he's one of the most overrated defensive players.
You're also
ever.
a Mets fan.
No, I just think he's an overrated defensive player.
No, I agree with you. I think he has
He makes a lot of flashy plays.
Yeah, he has a few good flashy plays, and everybody's like, Derek Jeter. Actually, I heard he's kind of a dick.
Who,
I heard
Jeter?
the same thing. I've heard
Yeah, I
Derek-
heard-
I've heard Derek
Jeter's
Jeter's kind
Actually,
of a douche.
I don't know if we've talked about this one, but fun fact of the day: Derek Jeter actually would never sign a baseball without personalizing it, so you can't resell it.
Yeah.
It's smart.
I mean, no, it
honestly.
is. But whenever you would get a baseball or an autograph,
Speaking-
he would always put your name, and he would always put it on something separate. So if you got a baseball from Posada and Pettit and what have you, he would get his own baseball and personalize it with Jeter on it.
Speaking of like, autographs at games, let me tell you about when I went to the Mets game at the end of April with my brother, who's standing next to me again, and my dad and grandfather, and we stood in line for how long? We stand in line for 30 minutes before the game started to get autographs, and we're maybe what eight in line, 8 people in line, like we're waiting for Lindor, comes right to our line. Awesome, we're 8th. There's no way. He stops right when we're walking up. Second time that's happened to him.
Ah, damn.
First time these kids pushed me away at Phillies Stadium, which is I hate the Phillies even more.
Oh, okay.
And then
Good to
they-
know.
They pushed me out of the way. He signed them, and then he skipped me and went on.
No. Francisco Lindor, what
Yep,
are we doing?
And then who else came over? Who was signing at the next one down? Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo was signing. We were hoping he was going to come up to us. He was closer to the dugout, but he ended up not coming. But he signed until like the very last second.
Nemo's
before.
usually pretty good.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna
I have a. I forget where it is. It's packed up somewhere from when we moved, but I have a baseball. It's signed by Guillorme, who got
Nice.
sent down. It's signed by Nimmo as well. Signed by, I think, Joey Cora, the third base coach. I think Wayne Kirby signed it as well. Steve Gelbs signed it for
Oh
me.
wow, okay.
Yep. I think I want to say Keith Hernandez drove by us and gave us a wave. He didn't stop. Gary drove by us. I got Pete Alonso to come. That was right after Pete Alonso's truck accident when he flipped his truck.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I remember that.
So that was last year during spring training when I was down there, and Pete was walking out to his truck or new car, because that was right after.
Oh, he's rich, so he can get another
Yeah,
one.
but he was walking out, but he was like, "Oh no, guys, like I was signing earlier, like I'm just going home." I was like, "Oh well, it's this kid's birthday," so Pete was like, "All right, it's your birthday, I'll come over and sign."
Was
so
it actually his birthday?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
actually
okay.
his
Oh,
birthday,
okay.
so I was able to get the kid an autograph from Pete, but he didn't sign for me. I was a little low key pissed. I was like, "Come on, Pete, I just
He
gave
wasn't
this-
signing autographs. It was his birthday.
I was like, I don't care. I did something nice for the kid. Sign for me."
What you got on the hat there?
17 days before I went with him, I got Eduardo Escobar and Kodai Senga.
No
There you
way.
go.
You got Senga's autograph on there?
Yep. So my little brother got Eduardo Escobar and
That's
Kodai
on the
Senga's
all black.
autograph on a
That's
hat.
awesome, dude.
And then
And then I was
he also got Adam Ottavino, a game used hat.
Where'd you? How?
At the Mets game they have, so it's like a 45. What's it? $45, right? I think it's 40, or it's either $40 or $45, and it's like a mystery grab bag. So it's like a big like tumbler with scraps of paper, like a bingo roller kind of.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And they go in there and they tell, okay, well, do you want us to pick from the left, the middle, or the right? Most of the prizes in there, it's like 80% is what he told me, is like $45 base prizes, which go grab the thing.
No.
Yes, go grab it. I want to show them.
Oh, where is it?
I don't. Your thing.
Oh, my thing?
The thing from with Squirrel.
This
yeah.
is bad radio here.
Yeah, no,
The
I'm trying
thing-
to
the
remind
thing
him
from
without
Squirrel?
saying. Anyway, so there's a lot of the $45 base items, and then there's the higher end stuff. So you can get autographed baseball, game used hat, jerseys, bats,
but
helmets.
if you pay $45, you can get lucky enough
You
to still
can
get one of those.
Yes, and it's so random, and there's hundreds of scraps of paper in that little thing because
Oh,
it's a
okay.
tiny little like fortune cookie size scrap of paper that
Gotcha.
says what
Right.
you win on it, and it's a big like I'm talking this thing is like 1.5 feet, 2 feet long, and it's like a big octagon shaped cylinder.
I understand.
What do you got
So
here?
this is the $45. This is like the base price. So that's a
Oh, okay,
game used jersey swatch
Oh, that's
of-
cool.
from Jeff
Very,
McNeil,
very
and then
cool.
it's like a plaque
Yeah,
of
to
the
go with it.
player. So it's cool, but so he goes at the game we went to together, which was after the one where he got the Ottavino hat. He gets so that's the Ottavino.
Oh, no
game worn
way.
hat. Yeah, so that was on Adam Ottavino's head.
Dude, I love this.
Yep. So that's what he got then. So, but he got lucky with that. That was at the
That
end.
man's got a big old head.
Yeah, so that
7
was-
3/8.
That's probably not even big enough to fit me.
What size hat do you wear?
7 3/4. Yeah, no. Doesn't fit me.
Holy
I
moly.
got a big head. But so when we went to the game, or when he got that Ottavino hat, he
Right.
won the base prize, but it was the end of the night, so they were like, "Oh, we'll trade you. Like, you can do one of the base prizes, or you can do one of the hats." And he picked the hat over like one of the base
course.
prizes. When we went, he got that plaque thing, and I was like, I was like looking at like the bats, and I was looking at helmets
They
and
can-
stuff
they
like
can
that,
get
but way too
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll do the grab bag thing. And I see on the right side before they spun it, I see something that says Pete Alonso game used. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick from the right side no matter what. So he spins it, goes, what side do you want me to pick from? I said, the right. And he goes, all right, cool. Picks it out, opens it, and he goes, oh, I already showed them. And I go, oh, or the guy reading it goes,
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you read it. And turns it around and it says Edwin Diaz signed ball. And I was like, what? No
that's
way.
That's awesome.
So
Oh, okay, and that's okay.
that's
okay.
that's where how I got that Edwin Diaz signed ball, which
Gotcha.
unfortunately he's hurt this year. But
Disgusting.
oh yes, Francisco Alvarez.
Oh, see, this is a big helmet. The helmet up to here, completely covered in old pine tar.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Francisco Alvarez's helmet, his entire the front end up to like where my hairline recedes to was all
Pine tar filled.
pine tar.
Let me
It's-
ask you a question.
nasty.
What's the point to that? Now, don't get me wrong. I
I
played
guess
ball.
it's just really just to have a spot to like stick your pine tar. That way your bat isn't like loaded up and it's like super tacky and
Keep it up
sticky.
there, and then
So
bring
you keep
back
it up
down.
here. That way you can just tap your helmet like this, like give it a smack, get it on your gloves, and then be ready to rock. That's my guess. Either
Interesting.
that, or it's just them like adjusting their helmet so much with
And
the
they
pine
just
tar,
get
and
it
it's
on
just
there.
over and
Maybe.
over and over
I just
again.
because I played baseball my whole childhood, and like I get the pine
Well,
tar.
I never used pine tar.
You never
when
used
I-
pine
No,
tar?
I never used
I
pine
think
tar.
maybe when I played travel like once or twice, but my batting gloves were always enough for me.
Oh, see, I never used
needed it.
batting gloves.
See, I
Oh,
always
okay.
used I never used two.
I'm
I only
a
ever used
traditionalist.
I only ever
always-
used one.
No,
I-
I always went straight grips with the hands because batting gloves are just so uncomfortable for me.
Oh yeah, for me
Yeah.
no. It was I always
Just-
used one batting glove.
Nah,
Yeah.
I used
I
to
need one
no-
batting glove on my left hand. That's it.
No batting gloves. I used to slide head first, get dirt all in my fingers. But whenever I was sliding into second or third base, I'd always go feet first. Just because I was a bigger kid, like I wasn't sliding head first or really taking off anywhere.
And we didn't
so.
have mitts back then, right? Like now you look at the league.
Batting
every-
gloves
and
are
the-
so
the
like
batting
they're
mitts
everywhere.
that they got for
that
the
too,
bases
yeah.
and everything.
Oh yeah, the
Imagine-
oven mitts. Yeah.
Imagine if we had those back then. I feel like a lot of people would have been totally down for those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
100%.
never a base
But
stealer
I just
either.
never
I was a first and third baseman, man. I
Amen,
wasn't
dude.
stealing.
I
I was
just-
a corner infielder.
I just never understood the pine tar on the helmet. Like on the bat, I kind of get like it makes
Yeah.
sense. Like especially on the neck, right? You grip
Other-
and it's right there, but the helmet, it's just
Other
like why
than
am
Bobby Witt or Jose Ramirez, name me a third baseman that steals bases.
Third
Nolan
baseman?
Arenado?
No, Arenado doesn't
You don't think
steal
Arenado
bases.
steal bases?
Arenado's slow.
He is slow. I'm trying to think.
He's not a base stealer.
Wait, you want current players?
I'm talking current.
Beatty.
Ah, never mind.
I don't think Beatty's stealing bases, at least not yet.
Alec Boehm?
I don't know. Does Alec Boehm steal bases? Phillies fan?
yeah,
Jeff?
he's
I'm
He
throwing
has
I'm
done it,
throwing
but
names
it's
to the
not-
wind here.
yeah. It's not. He's not somebody that I would pick. When I was thinking of third baseman who's stolen before for the Phillies, it was definitely not Boom.
I'm just throwing names at the wind here. Yeah, you're right. There's probably not a lot of
Who was
third basemen that
trying
steal.
to think.
Oh, no,
2016.
Machado doesn't steal bases.
No, I'm trying to think. Who was the 2016 third baseman for the Phillies? This is bothering me.
2016? Your guess is as good as mine. I barely remember what I had for breakfast, let alone 2016.
trying to remember
What are you looking up over there?
I was trying to look up and see if I could find a list of like
third baseman for
third baseman
stealings.
with like stolen bases this year, but it's too.
Oh, go on
specific, I think.
Go on Major League Baseball's website, and then go under stolen bases, and I think you can actually separate it by
You
position.
can filter it out.
Yeah, I
Possibly,
think you
let's
can.
see.
I think you can filter it by position. What
What
is
did
this?
you get?
What are you on their
what do you-
Instagram page?
It says stories. I don't.
No, you don't want storage. MLB.com.
I just typed in
gosh.
MLB.com and that's what came up.
You got to get
It
rid of all the blue
autofilled
stuff at the
in.
top. It autofilled. There
Shut up.
you go. All right, go to stats. There we go. Look at us. We're figuring this out.
Yes, we are losing 4-2, top 8.
Yeah, the Mets suck. It's all right. Pete Alonso's gonna hit a home run and tie it. All right, go
You
to
want Freeman hitting a home run tonight?
team. No, I think it's
Let's
players.
see.
You want third
Let's
base,
see,
and
let's
then you
see
want stolen
what
bases.
has Freeman done
There you
so
go.
far
Who's at the
tonight?
top?
Taylor Walls for Tampa Bay.
At how many?
See the
9.
box.
9. Cabrian Hayes
Oh,
for
Golly.
Pittsburgh with 6. Jose Ramirez with 5. Josh Rojas with 5. Ryan McMahon with 4.
That's okay. Yeah, I wasn't getting any. Of
Nolan
these.
Arenado with 2. Matt Chapman with 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Machado
I knew
with
Arenado.
2.
I knew Arenado stole a base.
Who did I say? I said
Ramirez.
I said Bobby Witt, but he might be listed as a shortstop, but he can play third base. Yeah, Bobby Witt has
Yep.
14 stolen bases.
Yeah, but under shortstop, categorized as a shortstop.
Yeah, I know.
So that doesn't. count
I go
for you.
based off of fantasy
Who's-
where he's listed as a
I
shortstop third
What
base.
is it with the lineup tonight? Did
Whose
you
lineup?
see the lineup for the Mets tonight
No. Who do they have?
for the batting order?
Why? Who do they have in
no,
the
but
lineup?
I can look
Alvarez
at
is in the lineup. I know because he had a home run. I got that notification.
Yeah, Alvarez is bottom. Let me double check that this is the actual lineup.
Oh, that's a big series, by the way. The Dodgers Braves. Do we do what? I have no idea what that is.
No.
No, I don't.
No.
See, I don't either, so don't feel bad.
So rare? What's so rare?
It's an MLB.
Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Alonso, Beatty, Marte, Vogelback, Canna, Alvarez. That's a regular lineup.
Yeah. What do you?
I don't know why I thought
What are
that
you
Alvarez
tripping?
at the end of the lineup was.
Vogelback is
Nah,
Vogelback's kind of a waste. I'm not gonna lie to you here.
I mean,
That refrigerator-
Vogelback still got one of the
That
better
refrigerator
OPS
of a
on
man
our
doesn't
team.
do anything. I guess
He
that's
gets
fair.
on base. He's
He
a,
walks.
He's
He
he's
walks.
he's a true 3 outcome player. He's either a strikeout, a home run, or a walk.
Yeah.
He's Joey Gallo, just fat.
Whoa,
Whoa.
Joey Gallo's starting to turn it up over
Yeah.
there in
Well,
Minnesota.
Old Joey Gallo, just
New
fat.
New York Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
Joey Gallo, the New Yorker.
Now that's
Joey.
fucking Italian.
Joey Gallo. Bro, I don't know if you saw a couple
Danny
weeks ago.
Burgers.
What is?
Couple weeks
going
ago,
on with
couple weeks ago, Joey Gallo hit a home run or two. in Minnesota, and you could hear in the stands people like, "Why couldn't you do that in New York?"
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I saw that. That was great.
Dude, New Yorkers
That
are
sounds about
everywhere.
right.
And then speaking of New York, Gerrit Cole, third fastest pitcher to 2,000 strikeouts
Dude.
in MLB
Yeah.
history.
For what
so
it's worth,
congrats to Gerrit Cole.
I thought the Gerrit Cole signing was going to be useless. I thought not useless, but I thought-
Gerrit Cole might
I
win
thought
Cy Young
I
this
thought the
year.
Garrett Cole signing wasn't going to be worth the money, and
He's worth the money.
he was
He's
worth
worth
every
the
dime.
money, yeah.
And the Yankees.
The Yankees just need to stop making their players shave their beards.
Nah, dude, I enjoy the traditional of it.
Nah,
Yeah,
they're
dude.
the only team.
They're the only. Well, they have a standard to uphold. See, there's every team has rules.
A standard to uphold from when plumbers were playing baseball.
Though. Yes, but every team has
Like
rules.
where most of the World Series came from.
Shush. I'm telling you, every team has certain standards that they uphold, and one of the Yankees is they want you to be clean shaven. That's just what it is. You know,
my
it's
gosh,
they're
we're
very
talking about the
militaristic.
old days.
They want you to be-
Aaron
they
Judge
want you to be militaristic.
should not grow a beard.
No.
though. He looks weird with a beard.
They want you to. They want them. They're a little more militaristic. But even a team like Atlanta has that rule where you can't cover the A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every team has their rules and regulations on what you
Let's
can
go,
and can't
Alvarez.
do. You think he's gonna hit another
Who's
one?
that?
I would
Stroman, right?
love to see him hit another one.
Is that Stroman on the mound?
Hmm?
Is that Stroman on the
Oh,
mound?
I know. Did you? So you gotta. So just for the listeners,
Right, because
I got Colton here showing me the. Did you
so
see?
rare. Wait,
the,
yeah. Explain what so
no,
rare is to me.
Oh, he was showing me the Phillies.
Here, Doc,
Diamondbacks
come here.
game.
Tell him what So
Oh.
Rare is.
Yeah.
So Rare, sponsor us.
Yeah, I don't know what you are, but sponsor us anyway.
So like, so rare is like kind of, I guess you could call it fantasy.
Okay.
And like you have a certain amount of gems to like you get a team like a pitcher or a relief pitcher, quarter infield, middle infield, outfielder, extra player, and then whatever the other spot is called, I forgot.
A DH.
No, it's just there's an extra player and then there's like a
Somebody for bench.
flex or
Oh,
a
okay.
flex.
Yeah, flex position.
And then you have a certain amount of gems to draft your team, and
Yeah.
like that's the only, and you get cards. So it's kind of it's fantasy mixed with like card collecting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play other players or?
Yeah, you join like a competition. Like I'm in minors right
league.
now,
Okay.
and you join each week. Each game week, you join one.
Okay,
The
so
more cards you have, the more you could do at once. But if you already have cards in one league, you can't put them in the other.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So it's like it's fantasy, and you have a certain amount of gems, but those are the only you have those cards forever, and you can't draft any more players. You have to get a higher rank in each week to get better cards and limiteds and all that.
Is it free to play?
It's free to play. If you do good, like in certain events, I think you could get like you get paid money if you get like enough money.
Connor Falefa.
is that live for the Yankees?
Yeah,
game?
that's live.
Oh, okay.
In like
Falefa? Connor Falefa?
events, you could get like
Such a
different
weird last name.
rewards, better awards and stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes, like soccer, they did a big event for like the World Cup where like if you got first, you get to meet Zinedine Zidane.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh,
and you get
that's
flown
awesome.
out. You get flown out somewhere to play like
Yeah.
football with him, soccer, and it's just like fun. And then you could also go on the market and you could buy different cards, special cards.
Okay.
You could make money that you sell your cards, or you could like I think gain money, but that's pretty much it.
So-
You just collect and
So I got a question for you as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? I don't know if you saw the stuff. How do you feel
Nope,
about
nope.
Wrexham?
oh, I like them.
Yeah.
I follow them. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
How do you
think-
feel about Man City winning the Premier League this year? Not excited?
Not fan.
We drew.
What is this,
to
the third year in the row?
Yeah, but we literally drew to 3 bad teams in a row.
Yeah, because who did Arsenal play?
Well,
Everton.
yeah, that,
We lost to
yeah,
Everton
you lost to Everton,
1-0.
right?
Yeah.
We drew, I think, like Brentford. We drew Southampton and lost to Southampton, and they are the last place team that already got relegated.
Oh, jeez.
Like so, right now, and we drew them and lost to them, so we shouldn't have,
Yeah.
and all that. So we really just threw the league.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
it's just about 10 o'clock. So we'll wrap her up. Thanks everybody for the night because it is a little late, so we'll wrap her up. No big deal.
And you guys have a
We have a drive home.
little bit of a drive.
Oh
home,
yeah, I forgot about that too. So,
Yep.
all right,
That's fine.
See y'all
But
later.
Episode 3, Playbook Project.
This is gonna be 4.
Well,
actually.
technically the 4th episode we released, but this is Season 1, Episode 3. This is Nick,
Sign out.
I'm Matt. That's Jeff.
and we are gone.
Jeff didn't
We'll see
even. Jeff didn't even answer. Okay, bye.